sure. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cheeseadelphia. I'm joined by my brother.
What's up?
How you been, man?
I've been good, man. How have you?
I've been great. But you know what? Actually, I've been a little bit down on, certain things, but I've been fighting, and I've been just having some really, really solid spirit lately. So I'm actually very happy that we were able to make it here. I definitely would have been sad if I had to skip another event.
Oh my
with
God,
you.
that would have been so
sad.
depressing.
Like this being here, it just lifts my spirits. That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
So it feels good to be back. We just went through 2 series of Fear Dragon. Were you able to catch any of those or nah?
Yeah, I was able to catch a lot of, or
Print
most
F
of the
and
Print
Suppy.
F stuff. That was both amazing and heartbreaking
I know,
at the
at the
exact
same
time.
Oh, and then
Same thing with Lucky
bringing it.
Masa.
Yeah, bringing
Holy
it.
cow.
So we are going to be going into something that you probably like a lot more than,
Oh.
or at least know a lot more than I do. And that's going to be a PvP between Rail and Probe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting one. We have a North American StarCraft event.
Yep.
And these are the 2 foreigners
These
in
are
a sense. You know, we normally say
European
foreigners are non-Koreans, but here...
But they're still like foreigners.
Yeah, no, but here we got an Australian player
Yep.
and a player from Europe.
It's so sick, man.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Snoot, that boy is what they call it, Probe.
Probe.
But, I think he's made a name for himself a lot more now. Like, he had a really awesome series, I remember. I forget if it was
It was
an
versus.
IEM.
It was actually a WCS Valencia versus Neeb.
Yes.
He went
know
to
exactly
game
what I was talking
5.
about. Yep.
He got so close to actually taking that, and he was. It was actually funny because he walked into that series saying, "Oh, I'll be okay. Like when I'm gonna lose, but I made the playoffs. But when you get that close, it's like,
like-
God, you feel bad about it because it was within
It was
reach.
actually,
Yeah.
But you know what? This could be within reach for him too. I don't. I think it is the first game of the series, so we're doing a little bit of series jumping so that you guys can see a lot of different players right now. So we are going to be going into game number 1. Yep, right. It is the first game of the series. It's not
Yep.
like this is like an
Yep.
elimination match or anything like that.
It is
actually,
indeed game 1.
Okay, cool. No, of like the whole series, yo. The whole series. In the top right-hand corner, he is from Australia, representing LG Cans. It is Probe. Oh my God. Oh my God.
All right.
Oh,
Rail. Oh my God.
Oh, they're on Brazil.
Well,
So
look, guys,
sometimes-
we were trying to be multicultural here. We have an
got
Australian
Australian.
player. We have Europe. We need to be inclusive,
Brazil.
include Latin America.
Yep, let's get a little bit of Africa up in there, Antarctica. Come on.
When are they going to bring out those the African
That's what I'm
Blizzard
saying.
servers?
As soon as that happens, man, WCS Africa champion, right?
You going to
here.
hit Grandmaster there?
Oh, yes. I think I miss my boy Panda Tank.
Oh, Panda
miss
Tank. I haven't
Panda
heard that
Tank.
name for a while.
Yep. It's like
Yeah.
him. It's like the only one I remember that lived in a.
Dude, I know exactly how you feel because
Yeah.
that's like for me, and I'm like, Demi Love, yeah, India. There's one of you.
Demi Love, let's go.
There's exactly one of us that's good at games. A country of over 1 billion
There's a
people.
ton of people there. Yeah, not gonna lie, right?
Didn't seem statistically likely, but that's how it is.
Yeah, but hey, Africa, we got Stefano.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, that's not fair to say because Africa is a continent. India is a country.
That's fair.
So there's no Ghanaian pro gamers, guys, or at least StarCraft pro gamers.
Well, all right. We'll hopefully be able to hop into this.
Yeah.
Rail.
So for those that don't know, it got made on the Brazilian server,
Yeah.
and neither of them are in Brazil. They're actually both here.
Funny enough, yeah.
It
That
just
is the
happens
way it
that
happens.
that they're here.
But yeah, for those who don't know, like Rail is formerly known as Verdi.
Yes.
I think a name that maybe the old school StarCraft players may know him a little bit better by. But he has definitely been pretty active in like the online scene and stuff. He's been playing a lot of events. And he's actually gotten, I would say, pretty good in the past like year or so. So I think he's going to be able to put up a pretty good fight here. Probe is also, like you mentioned, really shown some great results in the past year. He's shown that he can actually be not just like one of the best in Australia. He can actually compete with a lot of the really, really good players internationally.
And he also has a really good understanding of the game too. Like I think I think Pig was giving him really high praise. Before he really was doing those tournaments, I think he would do a lot more like ANZ, Australia, New Zealand events. But what had happened was like he would be like that kind of guy that would talk about the game and know situations and like different builds and whatnot.
He's an experimenter. That is actually one of the coolest things about him. He in fact even popularized like one or two the different builds
against roaches, like when they added the connection damage to it and stuff like that. He made that popular.
All
So
right.
he's like, yes.
Game
What? I wonder why it's getting made. And so what would happen if they were to actually play it? They would be playing with 99
Yeah.
ping, 99 ping
90
when they're like, I don't know, less than 99 feet away from each other.
Yeah, that's always the fun part. Well, hopefully we'll be able to get that resolved in a moment.
I don't even know what influences that though. Like, how do you?
Oh, it's in the settings. For those who don't know, there's actually a really fun thing. If you go
forgot
to
you
the
can-
options menu in StarCraft and you go and set your server preferences, whatever server preference you had at the time you hit create lobby is the server preference that the game
Game is
itself
gonna
will
go.
have.
So one of
And,
them needs
yeah.
to.
Well, no, it's just the lobby host.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Super duper fun.
Yeah, because I remember before they must have changed that because I remember there was a time where like, even if the lobby host did it, it would.
Oh, but you know what? Actually,
they
there's a
made it
lot
better?
of bugs that exist
Yeah.
if you have a party in StarCraft.
Oh yeah, that probably what it
Yeah.
was.
So if you have a party and anyone else has the wrong server preference set, it can actually mess with that.
yeah.
There's a lot of different problems also. We also have like international casters, so like that is going to be like, for example, the server preference for some of the
Yeah.
for some of the
They're
for
saying
some
that
of
we're
the
just gonna have to
people.
cast in Portuguese.
Cast in Portuguese. No.
I could do that. I actually don't know.
We could become the Portuguese caster, the second Portuguese stream.
I mean, I'm so bad at. I know a little bit of Spanish, but it's different. You know, it's like it's a very different language, man. And it's not even just like
Hablas español?
U.S. It's not even just like U.S. English. Yes, sí. Y tú?
¿Y usted? Yo como una vaca loco, porque yo como yo.
That's all I know, man.
Says I am a mad cow because I eat myself.
I always thought of that. Like,
Yeah.
I can't.
That's my
like,
high
keep
school
up a lot of the
Spanish,
times.
though.
I
That's-
get like a little bit of it, and then I'll pick up like Loco, and I'll be like, okay, that guy he makes pretty
Yeah,
good StarCraft 2
yeah,
content.
it was a good Zerg player.
Pretty good dude, you know. But I think, getting to this party back real quick. So, yeah, I think one of them are going to do it. But either way.
We'll hopefully get into it, but
for
yeah,
now, I mean, I'm sure.
I want to actually talk a little bit about also again like the thing that I really enjoy about Probe because you're talking about this a little bit before.
Oh,
He
I
is-
like the mining animation now from the new skins. I think that's pretty sick. Like, think about it.
the orange animation.
It gives like a little orange tint to it.
That's
yeah.
pretty awesome. There are some really good war chest skins
like
right
it too,
now.
yeah. But about the player.
But about the play, the thing about Probe is that he has been just traditionally a player that, again, is like not afraid to experiment and kind of almost break trends and set trends
Right.
in terms of the metagame. And that's what makes him actually very scary is that because he is so willing to do that as a player,
Yep.
he's willing to be at the forefront of the metagame. Sometimes he will look a little bit silly, but a lot of the times, especially lately, he has looked incredibly
good.
strong.
Yeah.
And that is a very annoying thing to deal with. In PvP right now, PvP has seen a lot of changes because of the disruptor changes.
Yep.
And it's become much more common in PvP that we end up seeing a lot charge lot Archon style. Because
Indeed, yeah.
there was like a short period of time where you'd see like, there'd be like the Blink Stalker disruptors and there would be charge lot Archon. But now it's like primarily charge lot Archon.
Tends to be more.
But there's still a lot of different variations. There's so many changes that have happened with balance patches that have affected PvP. That I actually think that I really like someone's like Probe's chances in being able to
like-
find little small things that you can
Right.
do to do a little bit better than your opponent.
Yeah, if you can be ahead of the meta in that, like, especially in a tournament setting. So he's done it like a bunch of times on ladder in that
Yeah.
meta setting, and then it's like, okay, when it comes down to a tournament, I know what I need to do in order to at least try to be ahead of it there. And catching your opponent off guard in that first game can kind of be like, oh crap, like damn, okay, I see what kind of dance we're doing now. You know, you want a tango, but I'm trying to salsa over here, you know. But
You wanted a tango and I wanted a mango.
Hey! Yo, next mixtape, Ravi featured on it right there.
Boom.
I posted a fireplace on my Instagram and said it's the cover of my mixtape. It was lit. It was lit. So we're going to be
All right.
going into this game. But for those that didn't know, it's actually on Blackpink. I think you might have seen it like really briefly before they said, whoa, like, oh my God. 'Cause
Before, wait
we
a
don't
second,
realize it.
Brazil.
Yeah, like,
We're not in Brazil.
no, we're not. But I'd like to go there someday.
What would you call Cheeseadelphia if it happened in Brazil?
Portuguese Adelphia.
Portuguese Adelphia.
Yeah.
You took apart the cheese part, which is like the actual StarCraft related
Yep.
thing, and you left in the Philadelphia part.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I don't know why I did that.
It's okay. You had a long bus ride today.
Yes, I did. Wow, wow. Oh, God, that's funny. But, hey, guys, ladies and gentlemen, in the top right-hand corner, it is our blue Protoss player. Give it up for Rail.
And down in the bottom left, we have the red Protoss player from Australia. Give it up for Probe.
You know, there could be a Philadelphia in Brazil somewhere.
There could be.
It's possible.
It'll be like a restaurant or something. It'll be like Philadelphia's home-cooked food or something.
Yeah. Like that's the name of the person.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, here we are, though. It is going to be on, excuse me, Blackpink, which is one of these maps, very, very big maps. You got a lot of expansions that do add for these split map scenarios. So very, very excited to see how it is going to be, as the last time we were talking, or that game that we were talking about was on, what was that big map? The PvP between him and Neeb, Probe.
Oh, I mean,
Ascension
Ire?
No, this was way back then. It was like a darker map. We're going to sit here and never going to get it.
I mean, yeah, there have been a lot of really awesome maps. That was a series from back in like July of 2017, so it was a while ago. Maps have definitely changed up a bit since then.
Yeah, but here we are on Blackpink, and already starting out, seems to be very, very similar builds from both. That double gateway. Obviously, we have to take note as to what comes out of the gateways when that Cyber Core is done, whether it is, what, Adepts or Stalkers. Is that still kind of the same?
Yeah, that's still definitely a big part of it. The shield battery has changed some of the dynamics of PvP, just because the funny thing is, with the shield battery, you really cannot just rely on like a single Adept to do too much.
Okay.
But at the same time, Protoss players don't really want to invest into the shield battery, so it's kind of this fun game of like cutting corners, but also trying to like punish your opponent who cuts corners. The Stalker opening, I actually am a huge fan of. Just going for the double Stalker opening is pretty standard in PvP. You don't have to worry about the shield battery, but you also have that extra little defense if your opponent goes Oracles or something like that. And it just is kind of an overall safe roundabout or all-around style to open up with. But well, speaking of Stargate,
yeah, sup, son? Gonna be a Stargate coming out for Probe here, and we haven't seen the tech get put down for Rail, and he's already banking 234 gas, and he decides to go ahead and put down a Nexus before any sorts of tech, and then he adds on 2 sentries. So that does make a bit of sense right there. The fact that he was gonna go ahead and delay his tech in order to get the Nexus, and then just make 2 sentries in order to be a bit more defensive.
The sentries are really nice in terms of scouting information, and that's going to be very, very helpful, I think.
What, the Oracle?
Oh, yeah, it can be very, very helpful, but like you were saying, yeah, the Oracle, it's going to be a big target for the Oracle, so it's going to be very important to see where exactly does Rail actually end up leaving these sentries. If he leaves them inside of his main base just like that, that's likely where the Oracle is going to be going first, so there's a bit of a danger zone here. But the other kind of funny thing about PvP is that just Stargate openings in general did fall off, partially because if you just get one Oracle out, the shield battery will almost heal through the entirety of the Oracle damage. It looks silly when you watch it.
Especially because at that first, when it spawns in, it does have full energy. So I guess he's going to keep the sentries right there. And instead of them just like tickling the probes, they're going to tickle the sentries instead. Because usually the sentries do the tickling, but when you have a shield battery, like you're saying, that Oracle comes and tries to Pulsar beam. You know?
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is, like, if the Oracle just goes for the sentries, and the sentries are close to the shield battery as they are right now, especially alongside the Stalkers, I don't think it'll be able to do too much there either. And now 2 Stalkers warped in, and yeah, I like this. Probe just goes for the Revelation. This is like the real value that you're going to get out of this
Seems
Oracle.
like it, right?
Is you get some consistent scouting information, whereas his opponent is going to have to invest into the sentries and then continuously hallucinate Phoenix out. It just costs a lot more energy. Whereas Oracle can just kind of dive in. It still has a utility if your opponent moves out.
Tag him, Just guess that tag. It's actually really nice that he is able to use it in that way, but I'm sure that he would have loved to get any kind of damage done and then tag after. So
the other thing is 2 Oracles are enough to beat out the damage output the healing output of the shield battery. So 2 Oracles will one-shot workers quickly enough that the shield battery can't heal up, and that's where you start finding potential for damage.
Okay, that's cool then. The fact that makes a lot more sense here. But he's actually going to use it in the attack as well. Good force fields are going to go down, but I mean, that's a pretty decent amount of Stalkers here.
Yeah, he doesn't actually, I mean, traps in a Stalker for a little bit, but that's...
Guys!
There you go. So one Stalker kill, not too bad for Rail in terms of defense, but that was also losing the sentries and even just a probe over there, losing the energy that the sentries would have. It's going to actually leave Rail pretty in the dark for a bit.
It is. That was his only way of scouting, right? I thought that I had seen. Did I see an observer that was in observer mode, or was that Probes that was waiting around? Yeah, it was actually Rails, but it's on the bottom side of his natural. Ooh, that Oracle gonna get taken out.
Yeah, one Oracle loses its life to the Stalkers. And now suddenly the second Oracle not really going to be able to do too much because, again, that shield battery covering that mineral line. So Probe is going to just rely on it for scouting information, but that's really all you actually need for it from this point in the game. We're getting pretty far along.
Yes, we are.
We're seeing those transitions.
Yep, and even Probe catching up here. And remember, Rail was able to take his natural a lot quicker than Probe's, and the amount of damage that he got done with the Oracle as well as his attack, I don't think was enough to offset the economic advantage that Rail was able to take here. So, yeah, sure, he loses the sentries, but, you know, that economy is definitely kicking in for him now. But the fact that they are going to be evening up, and Probe even taking his third base before Rail takes his is going to hopefully swing things back here in Probe's favor, right?
Yeah, having the faster third is definitely going to be pretty helpful. And the third timing in PvP, I think, is honestly a pretty variable thing.
Yep.
We actually see that both these players are adding on a ton of gateways, but again, Rail doesn't really have any good scouting information that Probe has taken this third yet. He doesn't know that the charge upgrade is going to be a bit further behind for Probe. He doesn't know a lot of these things right now because those sentries died earlier, and now he's finally able to hallucinate another Phoenix because he warped one in. He had to wait a little bit for the energy, and he's gonna. Well,
And he's just gonna stop.
I was gonna say he's gonna be able to see things, but he actually isn't moving forward. He's just keeping an eye out on the map for a move out.
He's just like, yeah, you know, you didn't have enough energy. Like, sorry, Sentry, but you're gonna have to pay a little bit more energy if you want me to keep going.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm a little bit surprised here, but this may end up working out a little bit against him. He does scout out the third base now, and I wonder if that's going to prompt a move out anytime soon, because he's going to see a finished up third base, and he hasn't even started his.
Oh, yeah, he did not start his, and the fact that Probe even added a similar amount of gateways at the same time makes me worry a little bit here for Rail if he's actually going to be able to break Probe if he were to attack.
All right.
So
that's that move out right now. The gateways have finished up now for Probe, but like you said, still waiting on a few of those final upgrades. Trying to chrono boost out that +2 weapons to hit alongside his attack. Rail really wants to make this attack super duper powerful. Probe trying to do the same thing, but his +2 weapons is a bit further behind.
Yep. But I mean, it's not that far behind, right? If he starts chrono boosting it out, he's probably going to be able to get it around the same time, especially because he's going to have defender's advantage with the shield battery heal. Oh, wait. Oh, he's just going to bypass the third and go into the natural.
Oh,
Never mind.
He's going to try to move up to the natural. Both these players have the Archon, so Force Field's going to be a bit harder to utilize very effectively. We're just going to instead see Guardian Shield be popped over here for Rail, trying to soak up some of those Stalkers as he segments off Probe from defending his own natural.
Wow, and he's not even fully committing to either the third or the natural. He wants to get damage done in the natural and then force Probe down the ramp so that he does have that concave, but I mean, I think it's working.
Yeah. I mean, the natural expansion for Probe is just not mining right now. The Zealots are still going ham. Additional units getting warped in from that Warp Prism. Some nice micro from Rail. And he is starting to overpower Probe.
He really is. And what is the difference here? Is it the fact that that +2 was done for a little bit longer, or is it, you know, this positioning or a combination of both?
It's a combination of a few factors, I think. You know, you had the faster +2 weapons. You also had the gateways finishing up a little bit faster. Rail, of course, not investing in that third means he has extra resources to attack, and he makes it work.
Wow, Rail. Definitely hitting a timing. That was perfect. I think if he waits a little bit longer, then Probe gets another warp in. He gets income to at least make that Nexus justified. It's going to pay for itself. But, damn, yeah, I think the fact that Probe was able to take it and then, like, I feel like if he just had a little bit more time, it would have paid off. So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
Just understanding the game.
As the game goes on in that situation, Probe becomes a little bit more and more favored.
Right.
But it was such actually it was a really narrow window. You were talking about how small of a lead Rail actually had on his +2 weapons and charge and all these other things.
That much.
It was like maybe roughly 25 seconds with chrono boost involved.
Yeah.
And Rail was actually able to hit exactly within that kind of
the 20
window.
seconds,
so that was very well done by him.
And the fact that he didn't even wait, he didn't hesitate. Remember the Phoenix, the slackened Phoenix. Do you think if he was able to see that earlier, he would have even hit, and had more time to do it, or was he just like, I'm gonna hit this perfect window of time and show you guys? Like,
Yeah, it's kind of funny, like to go back to that the Phoenix
The
that
Phoenix
wasn't
was just
actually
like-
moving around. I really do think that tells me he was maybe worried about being attacked himself, so he was almost just teching up on these two bases because he was thinking, oh, if Probe attacks me, I want to see
So
that
he
move
wants to
out.
see it move
That's
out.
why he left that
More
Phoenix, I think,
focused
in that
about that.
location.
Got
But the fact that he didn't end up seeing it for a while, he's like, wait a second, goes to the third, he's like,
maybe,
okay, actually,
yeah.
let's go right now.
Yeah, that makes sense though, to be able to see that, because it was on the attack path.
Yeah.
So
All right.
wow. All right. Well,
Game number 2. We're going to go to Neon Violet Square. And again, we got our European Rail, a.k.a. Formerly known as Verdi, setting up 1-0 in this best of 3.
what does LG cans mean? Do you know?
I don't, actually.
No?
LG
I don't know if like
cans.
LG made a pair of headphones or something. that I'm trying to wonder, but or if it's like a kind of meme, because a lot of the players.
Yeah,
like
they
to
do
have
enjoy
these-
their memes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are on Neon Violet Square, and in the top left-hand corner, he is up by 1. It is Rail. Rail.
And his opponent spun down here in the bottom right-hand side of the map. We have the red Protoss player. Give it up for Probe from Legacy Esports.
Okay, there we go. Legacy ANZ, like Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah.
That's why I
Team
was
that he's
like,
very happy with right now, by the way. And I think they're very happy with him. He is flying all over the place lately, going everywhere. He's going to be in Germany next
Okay.
week as well, for
Really?
Leipzig.
wow. Yeah, he's putting in a lot of work then, Oh, speaking of other things, like Rainer and Clem are going to be able to play soon, right?
I think a lot of
Is it
people are
this one
very
or the
excited
next
about
one?
that Future also, who's
Yep.
been doing pretty damn well lately, especially, I think, in today's tournament, he actually had a really good victory. I'm trying to remember versus who. But,
Missed it.
huh?
I had missed it.
He won a series the past like 30 minutes or 45 minutes or so. I'll have to double check it on the bracket later, but I remember he's actually doing quite well for himself. But he is under 16, but he's going to be able to play in WCS after he turns 16 this year. This was originally not the case, maybe like a week ago or something.
Yeah.
The original rule was that you had to be 16 on
to be
January 1st to
first.
play
It's like
on any of the events for the
day.
rest of
It's
the
like,
year.
Hold the phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the fact that they were at least able to change that is cool. A lot of young talent going out.
Oh yeah, I think I actually heard that Future had beaten Cham. I think that was it.
Really?
Yeah.
Say
I'll have to double check on that, but that's at least what I was hearing, the murmurings out in the crowd.
Wow, I didn't even know he was here. By the way, Cham.
Yeah, we got players from Latin America, we got players from Europe, Australia, everywhere, man.
Well, we got a similar opener coming out of both players once again. Looking like, double stalker now. Does Probe still go for that Stargate opener? I still, even though he didn't get a lot of damage done with it, I still feel like it did, gave him a good overview of the game.
Yeah.
Or at least indication of what was going on.
Yeah.
Very good map awareness.
It's really nice if you can keep both of the oracles alive because it's still just that like little bit of pressure if your opponent moves out or something. And it's always nice, you get the stasis trap potential.
Yeah,
You
he didn't even
use them
bother
in the
to use
fight.
that. Yep.
We didn't actually end up seeing any of that, I guess,
Nope.
in that last game.
It was mainly Revelation. I don't even know if he went for the pulsar beam until like the end. He started
Yeah.
killing the zealots that were inside of his base. He was like, yeah, I guess I should use some of this energy to clean this up. But we are seeing a very early Nexus out of both players again, though. But this time it's a bit earlier for Probe than it was before. So that's also really nice because last time it seemed like Probe took his a little bit later in comparison to Rail.
Yeah, Rail going for that Robo is
Immediate
also very
Robo.
interesting. And okay, minor little advantage for Rail with the
Just
Stalker
get
on
outta here.
Stalker
This
fight.
is our town, scrub. You saw him with the probe and everything.
Yeah, once you get that first shot off on the
It's a
Stalker
wrap,
versus
yeah.
Stalker fight, you're like, dang it, I'm not gonna win this anymore unless they mess up like their stutter step micro or something, which just doesn't
doesn't
happen
really
too often
happen.
with these guys.
Nah. All
Ooh,
right.
Phoenix being made first. Okay.
Oh.
This is okay. This is actually 2 Phoenix coming out right now for Pro. He even scouts around with that Phoenix on the bottom left-hand side, just making sure there's nothing funky going on on that side of the map, or there's no Warp Prism or anything else weird coming out. But this is, this might really catch Rail off guard. I feel like I see this occasionally, but that's mostly because I watch Rotterdam's stream.
Oh, yeah. Rotterdam will throw in the cheeky Phoenix. You know, he'll just, once he stops, though, you know, he's like a bomb.
Yeah.
What are those tubes of Pringles, man? The fun don't stop with Roddy in the club.
Oh, man.
He pops it and locks it.
So the advantages and disadvantages of going for this Phoenix style, the advantage is that you can keep your opponent very much at home. Like,
yes.
You can constantly just dive in anytime they're even slightly out of position. Those Phoenix really shouldn't end up losing too many of their lives. Maybe you lose like 1 or 2 Phoenix throughout the game, but like if you're really on point, you just keep them alive. You keep picking off probes here and there, and you, as the game goes on, you just gradually have a better economic advantage.
Yeah.
If they can't move out. And if they do move out, you still have them to pick things up. But the disadvantage is that once they are out of energy, if you're like too adamant about your harassment, you can actually realize that, oh, actually, they're moving across the map, and I only have enough energy for like 1 lift up.
Can't do anything.
On each one of these Phoenix. And you realize you can't actually do too much. Yeah, it's a
literally
big
like
sunk
Swarm
cost.
Host after they shoot
Yeah, they're just
Locust
dead
guy.
weights at that point. Oh, okay. Finding a little bits of pieces of damage to the Adepts. Gets a little bit desynced with the Adept attacks, so only gets 3 workers since the shield battery starts healing.
If they were to
up.
attack it, at the same time.
Oh, this is a really nice reveal with that observer.
Someone said you could like hear it, yeah? Like a zombie.
Yeah, you
dog
can
was
hear
saying that
you can hear the
it.
observers.
So
I'm actually not a fan of sieging up the observers for that reason.
just because it's just like kind of like, well, I guess it gives you, at least it gives you an actual advantage though, because I thought it before it was only because people hit F2 and would take their observers into their army, right?
Yeah,
Be
it
like-
increases the vision range.
it
and
actually
everything.
increases the vision range, so I think that's at least kind of cool, but at the cost of it being painfully obvious if your
Yeah.
headphones especially are turned up very loud.
Absolutely. All right, well, Phoenix still looking to try and get some damage done. Now they're going to
There
start to
we
be able to pick
go.
off some of these probes, and you're going to see Probe taking a very minor worker lead, but it's about the fact that he has that 3rd base behind this, and now that those Phoenix are kind of darting in and out, it makes it very difficult for Rail to safely move out. So what is Rail's response? He's getting up the Templar Archives. He already had a faster +1 weapons coming up, and he's got up charge around the same time as Probe.
Yep.
So is he going to go for the big 2 base push like he did in the first game?
He could. We'll see how many more gateways he ends up adding, right? He's adding 2 right now, and he's and a 3rd. Can we make it a 4th?
Yeah.
Come on, give me a 5th one, baby. Come on. Oh, okay, no, but I think he just might, right?
Yeah.
Probe is already mining. Is he mining from that 3rd? Like, yeah.
Yeah,
He's already
yeah.
mining, so we have a very similar situation to last game, except there's no way you can really keep your opponent in between his main or his natural and his 3rd if they take the back one in this situation. So that positioning is not going to work out for Rail this time. But yeah, it's a little bit of a different situation because it's not 2 oracles, it's like 4 Phoenixes.
Yeah, and I like the situation a lot better for Probe because he's going to be able to consistently move it in again and again and again to try to get those pickoffs. And this is also, I think, just a nicer map for trying to defend that 3rd. You remember that last game, a big part of that was getting segmented off from his natural when he's trying to defend. Now he just has to defend one location. That 3rd base is going to be defended because he's defending his natural.
Exactly. So definitely going to be a better situation if, of course, Rail goes for that. Now, he's starting to float a bit of money, so I'm wondering if he's going to take the Nexus. But at this point, if you take it, you're basically just saying, I'll accept that I'm behind, and why would I ever do something like that? Like, it's so far behind to try to take a 3rd base, like, straight up and not do anything, whether it be an attack with it.
I guess there's a little bit of a fear right now because Rail hasn't technically gotten a scout out to see that 3rd base, but he's also just lost so many workers that he's got to feel like he's falling further and further behind. I mean, total this game, it looks like he's lost 17 workers.
Yeah, 17 workers.
17 workers lost from that Phoenix harassment,
And
as well as
add
like a little bit of
17,
Adept
yep.
harassment.
Yeah, you add 17 to the workers, and he's actually ahead in workers, so...
All right.
Pro probably cutting workers if he notices that there's no 3rd base. Here comes an attack, and it doesn't look that scary just yet, at least. I don't know where the Warp Prism is at. It might be coming on the left side, but
Oh, nice pickups on
Stalkers.
these Stalkers. They got mis-rallied a little bit. Two of them gonna
Oh!
nice force fields keep out all of those units. The Archons have to take the damage, and those Phoenix really want to be able to lift up those Immortals, but those Archons gonna make it very difficult for them to do it safely.
Yo, but that was such a sick force field there on the ramp. The Zealots aren't going to be able to participate, but
They're
if
going
they,
around them. Are they going to counterattack?
I think so. Yep, they're going to go through the Plinko machine. Oh, speaking of Plinko, is it Plinko or Pachinko?
But Pachinko.
Don't matter. What? Oh, my God, here we go.
All these Zealots getting choked up is kind of helping Probe a little bit because they weren't just going to die immediately to the Archons. Now the Archons are getting taken out. Now the Immortals are getting lifted up and getting taken out, and Probe is going to tie up the series.
Wow. That even despite the brilliant force field to lock out the Zealots, I mean, that was so cool, but in the end, it just wasn't enough, right? Like,
I think the difference between that game and game number 1 is game number 1, the Oracles are there. They're trying to get little bits of harassment done. Like,
Yep.
they killed off the Sentry, sure, but they're not really getting, like, a lot of worker
much
damage
value,
done.
right?
And they didn't even really buy that much time in terms of, oh, you know, my opponent isn't going to be able to move out until they
Yeah.
deal the Oracle. The Phoenix actually
They
just
legit
picked off units
threat.
and kept Rail at home.
Yep. I mean, they were a legit threat. And you know what? They kind of serve the same purpose of, like, keeping a tab on your opponent, right? It's like,
Yeah.
you're usually defending with your army anyway, so I definitely am going to get a good scout on that. I can see when you're moving out because they're just flying all over the place. They're not as squishy.
If I move in and nothing comes to defend,
I'm
you've
probably
moved out.
getting yeah, exactly. So, and he lost so much more mining.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
insane. 38 or so probes when Rail decided to move out. And I think that was his last ditch effort. It was like, okay.
Oh, it was very
if I
last
take a
ditch
third
at that
here, well,
point.
who cares? Like, I have 38 workers. Am I really gonna
I mean,
benefit that
it's
much? There?
like you said, like even with those force fields and the fact that Probe sends all of those Zealots around and across the map,
Yep.
Probe still wins the engagement
Yeah.
with like around almost like 1,000 or so less minerals worth of
that's what-
army. That is a good showing of how much damage those Phoenix did.
Right. So I think Rail underestimated at least how much they were going to do, right? Like he went Robo, so that is usually good for the Stargate player. And the fact that if he was expecting Oracle, it probably would have been fine. It's just that since it was Phoenix, like you can't really do anything about that. If you have
That's
Robo,
rough.
like what are your mortals aren't going to do anything. I guess you can have your observers in position, but that's all that you can do and hope for the best.
Yeah, when you open up with Robo, it's always a little bit difficult when you kind of face off against the Phoenix. But here we go. We're hopping into game number 3, tied up 1-1. We're going to be starting down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Top of the blue Protoss player. Put your hands together for Rail.
And in the top left-hand corner, it is from Legacy Probe, our red Protoss, representing Australia. He loves you too. He does.
Oh, man. Probe is a really fun guy to troll.
He is, and he's a little bit of a troll himself. You know,
He is a bit of a troll
Like,
himself. One of my favorite things to do is just to like chant for him, and I always chant for New Zealand instead of Australia. That's one of the
That's what
best things to
remember,
do.
Remember when Petraeus would be pissed about that?
Oh,
too?
yeah.
Like if you did the opposite. Like,
Yo,
yo, Petraeus is my
Australia.
favorite Australian player of all
Oh.
time. And he's just like, like, I guess I censored myself. You know, I don't think the words that I would say to imitate Petraeus would have been appropriate for the stream.
Appropriate.
They would not have been appropriate at all.
Appropriate.
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 I don't know.
That was
how
actually the first time in a long time I had to say a joke 3 times for someone to get
You
it.
know what?
It's okay. You've had a long day.
I really have.
That was also a pretty terrible joke.
No, it was a beautiful joke, man. You know, I enjoyed it.
I'm glad.
I did.
All right. Well, we do have the double gateway opening once again. You know, for those who are wondering, by the way, why Protoss players have decided to wall off again, it is a lot because of the Adept harassment. Even
Yes.
if you have the shield battery, if 2 Adepts shade in, they can still one-shot the workers together. So what you do is...
get mismatched that last time.
Yeah,
right?
and if you actually are really paying attention, you can actually either hold position and Adept shade at the front of their wall, and the Adept shades won't be able to shade through another Adept shade.
Yeah.
So that will actually stop them from moving
Oh,
in.
yeah, I've seen
Or you
that.
can plant down the pylon and fully wall it off to prevent those Adepts from moving forward. But okay, we
cancel
actually
it.
got Probe getting a little cheeky here.
What?
Got a pylon on the south side of the map, ready to proxy something, and I imagine with this position it's going to be a Stargate.
I would say so as well, right? Like, and if you were to do that, then it's probably going to be for Oracle anyway. So, I guess if say Rail has the build
What?
down to a T.
Is he gonna?
That
Really?
he.
Oh my God, he's gonna scout this out. This
No
is
way.
Oh, this is so nice for Rail because again, he's gonna be able to move out with these stalkers. Let's go back to that shield battery that we were talking
I was
about
gonna
and
say,
the Oracle and
yeah.
how ineffective it is if your
Oh.
opponent sees that.
Yeah, what I was gonna say was that like if he had the build down to a T, like the the Stargate Oracle timing, then you time your shield battery to arrive
Whoa.
when that first Oracle comes. Oh,
That's actually pretty nice. Oh, he could have killed that
He
stalker.
could have had it with that next
oh,
shot.
he misread it. He misjudged it.
yeah. Oh well. He does save his Stargate.
Does he go
but
for a Void right here or an Oracle? Or like, does he decide to change it up at all? Does he go for nothing?
I mean, yeah, he could just go
He's,
for nothing.
he's throwing that Twilight Council back.
He
and
could make
forth.
Rail just over defend against it, but yeah, I guess so.
It's actually already happening a little bit. Like, there's no Nexus. There's a Warp Prism coming out, which is, I mean, that's a little bit more of an offensive tool also, though
Yep.
can be defensive. But Probe is just hard transitioning out of this. And he gets up an eventual Oracle because why not? I mean, you have the Stargate, and it's actually not that big of a commitment.
No. Well then, I guess that's actually cool because I mean the pylon didn't get taken out, so even if he had lost it and we said, yeah, I guess it's not that big of a commitment, but then sometimes you lose it and don't get much done. He still has it, so he's going to be able to get an Oracle out, and that's going to be able to at least stay with his army in order to give him those tags that he needs. And it also allows him to put the pressure on while he goes and secures his natural. So
Yeah.
this is a really, really good flip of the situation from Probe, but Rail somehow snuck on out.
Okay. I'm also really curious. That Blink upgrade is a little bit odd to me just because we end up seeing, I was really expecting maybe a fast charge and like a Temple Archives, really fast tech transition to try and catch his opponent off guard. And
Yeah.
maybe a little bit vulnerable, but yeah, the Blink upgrade, I feel like I don't see it quite as much. It still definitely has some uses in the matchup, but just Stalkers in general, I feel like after the mid game, see some diminishing returns. Oh boy, Shield Battery going to be important over here for Probe to hold on as he's up against a Warp Prism that can really help with the Blink Micro.
Wow, yeah, who needs Blink when you got Warp Prisms? And he is going to be able to keep these Stalkers alive. He even does another one. Wow, keeping
Whoa.
all of them alive, but the Oracle tries to tag at least some of
Oh.
the low HP ones.
Snags the Warp Prism kill.
Yep.
Snagging a couple kills on these weakened up Stalkers, and his own Blink is still a little bit of a ways from finishing. He does have the natural over Rail, so he can afford to lose all of these probes and still be ahead right now.
Yeah. Well, he's down by 10 army supply, and it's basically Stalkers. I mean, the Blink upgrade has been researched, but it's not done yet. So remember, that's going to be an investment that is not going to even give him any value.
Oh, Rail has
until
no
like
idea.
right now. Okay.
Rail doesn't know that Blink
Oh,
is there.
no, he doesn't.
Yeah, as soon as Probe gets enough Stalkers, he's going to be able to do this. He jumps on his opponent's army. The reinforcements are so slow to make their way across the map. Probe is just taking some really good trades here, I
But
think.
he's taking the damage too. Like he has the Blink
Yeah.
upgrade, and yeah, he should have. The last. Oh my God, he's getting
Oh.
way too aggressive. I think here because he still has the Nexus. He does not need to do this, but he's making sure that the next follow-up attack from Rail isn't going to be as strong. So picking off what he can, he assumes that yes, I can take an unfavorable trade. Even if that wasn't that unfavorable, right? So
Yeah.
if it comes down to it, sure, I have the other base. But if he loses all his Stalkers, he gets overwhelmed and then he just dies.
That would be a huge problem for either one of the players to actually deal with. But we do have an Immortal coming out behind this for Rail. He hasn't quite thrown down an expansion just yet, so I do wonder, is he really just going to continue to try and one base it, get up a really powerful army, and go for a round 2?
I think so. He's going to catch these Stalkers, though. This is a really good catch for Probe, but the
yeah?
Warp Prism is so sick.
Yeah, Sentry's trying to make their way forward to try and force field these Stalkers in, because if they blink back in the wrong direction or something, and suddenly it blinks on cooldown, they do actually get force fielded in, can be a bit dangerous, and you can see that, yeah, Rail getting out his second Immortal, and I think he is going to move across the map, try and make something happen.
He needs to. He needs to go.
yeah.
Like, it's go time right now. And the fact that Probe is meeting him on this side of the map this far, slowing him down is going to give him enough time. I don't think enough time to get an Immortal of his own. Wow, sick pickoff.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
loses
enough
us-
time to get an Immortal out, but
Yeah.
I mean, his Robo will finish in that time.
He does snipe off a Sentry as well, which can cut down on Force Fields, cuts down on Guardian Shield. Look at that, popping a Guardian Shield early.
I love
Loses some Stalkers in the process. Probe really has to be careful about this because he's doing some really cute micro, but he's still sitting down in army supply. He's still up against an Immortal, soon to be 2 Immortals and a Warp Prism. This is still gonna be a very dicey hold for Probe.
It's gonna be so hard, yeah. Maybe he's used to the Australia latency there, and he's like, shoot, I don't actually can blink
He's
at the right
blinking
time.
too early.
Yeah, it's like, I actually can do this, but
Yeah.
this is so scary. 34 army supply to 45. Now, the shield batteries have already used a lot of their energy. I think one of them are going to finish in a good time.
Oh.
He goes in on top of the Immortal, but oh, God, the Warp Prism saves it.
Oh god,
and then he backs up.
this is a really bad engagement after that blink forward for Probe, and he's losing so much. The two Immortals in the back, one Immortal re-getting its Hardened Shield once again. It gets picked up in the Warp Prism. I think the rail's about to break through. Probe just doesn't have units, and he already pulled all of his workers.
Yeah, the execution on that attack by Grail was just insane. Just the fact that he, I don't even know if he predicted the blink, but the reaction time to pick up the Immortal and just get it away. Wow, wasted basically that blink. And then now it exposed all of these stalkers of Probe, and Rail is going to take it 2-1. Holy moly. Really, really fun series there.
Yeah, and our European taking out the Australian is doing really, really well for himself.
Yeah.
Proving he is actually doing pretty damn well in PvP especially.
It seems so, huh? I thought so. Hadn't had the chance to watch too much Rail as much, so I'm actually glad. And I didn't even know that he was coming until I think we were talking about it like a week ago, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. And I was like, okay, sweet. I
Yeah,
mean,
we got some like really, really awesome signups a good bit in advance, but
I mean, I used to think like when people come from California, like when Kelazor, I'm like, coming all the way from California? Like, oh my God. Like, but nah, for real, to be able to see people from Australia, Europe, it's always awesome to be able to get that here.
yeah,
in a
and you've been able to
grassroots
commentate like most of the Cheesadelphia, so you've definitely got to
Yeah.
see like the crowd that attends Cheesadelphia just grow and grow and grow and come from farther and further places.
Yep. I love it. I just love it, man. You know?
All right.